Dubliner who's a dab hand at producing Christmas wreaths gives us a lesson.
Good evening, you're very welcome to Nationwide. Well, all this week on the programme we have an amazing €10,000 in cash to give away, so stay tuned because we'll be giving you the details later in the programme. Well, with Christmas almost upon us, there's a great sense of satisfaction in making your own Christmas wreath. Even the most elaborate looking wreaths aren't too difficult to create, especially when you have some tips from people in the know. Valerie Waters has met a family in Rialto in Dublin who train people to be professional florists and to show how making a wreath can be done without too much fuss.
Anyone passing by Rialto cottages in Dublin 8 are sure to stop and admire all the Christmas decorations which adorn this avenue. The residents here are part of a close-knit community and they want to brighten up this unusual Christmas for all in the local area. Kay O'Rourke lives here. She's now retired from Kay's Flower School in Rialto. It's been in business 34 years and it's where students are trained to be professional florists. It's now run by Kay's daughters, Jeanette and Deirdre.
They're doing great now with it, you know. Deirdre is a real techno, so she's able to do the very technical side of it, where she's been more than an asset than I was, you know. But through the years, we worked hard and we enjoyed it, and we were always kept very busy and came across lovely people. We have very happy students. You should see some of the testimonials that they have, you know. It's really great, you know.
At this time of the year, Kay's other creative talents can be seen out on her avenue here in Rialto, where all manner of pots and hanging baskets have been decorated for Christmas. Kay's husband of 53 years, John, is also involved in the festivities.
I'm the gopher. We dress up the planters that are down at the end there on the gable end. And we dress all of them up with the tinsels, the holly and berries and stuff like that. So we have people travelling around, you know, coming around here to have a look at our avenue, you know.
John and Kay's daughters, Jeanette and Deirdre, are busy too with making Christmas decorations.
Just pull that arrangement over a little bit, just a little bit closer.
There we go.
And, okay, ready and action.
So, big welcome everybody and happy Friday.
Here, Jeanette is being filmed at home in her kitchen by Deirdre. This is a free demonstration going out live on social media. They have now moved Kay's Flower School entirely online.
Now today's class is all about Christmas and we're going to show you how to do step by step this very simple Christmas arrangement.
When COVID-19 changed everything last March, Deirdre, who is also a florist, had to quickly learn a new skill in order to keep Kay's Flower School in business.
I went off and I had to do courses. I had to learn how to record, I had to learn how to edit, I had to learn how to upload online courses, I had to learn how to market courses. So this was a new skill, but I loved it, and that's the bit that I do love. As much as I love doing the flowers, I love the recording part of the flowers and that part of the business more so than I prefer to be behind the camera than in front of the camera. And thankfully, because of the online school, we're getting through the pandemic and our business is still in business.
Here, Jeanette is showing us one of the many types of door wreaths that are not difficult to make.
But I'm going to show you how to do something very similar, but more with a Christmas theme. Everybody wants to make their own Christmas door wreath. It just seems to be the fashion. The dog on the street is making their own door wreath. So this is just a mossed base. But to be honest now, you could use any sort of base at all. Like you could use 2 co-hangers to make this base. You could wrap some branches onto it. But if there was anybody from the country watching, they could use some straw. And if you just basically bind the straw on with a piece of twine, it works out ideal. It's perfect. Again, you could do it with branches of foliage as well.
Jeanette has wired a branch of Christmas tree and a sprig of holly together. She uses 20 of these bunches for one wreath.
Basically just get a little bit of wire or twine and you could tie the 2 pieces together like I have done. This just makes it easier. When you're only starting off making a wreath, it's an easier way to do it. The frame that I'm using is a 12-inch frame. So if you have less pieces, if you keep the pieces of foliage resting down on the base, it keeps it smaller and you use less. But what I'm going to show you today is I place it on a 45-degree angle. So the pieces then will come out past the 12-inch frame, and it makes a larger style door wreath for you, which I think is nicer.
Using real wire, Jeanette wraps it around the mossed base a couple of times and then wires on her 20 bunches of foliage.
It's really easy. Just keep spinning it around. Then you take up your next bunch and off you go. And really, preparation is the key. By having all them bunches made up in advance, you can see it's absolutely no hassle to take up a bunch, place it on, and around you go with the real wire. So when you get to your last piece, what happens is you continue to place that one in on an angle, you don't fill in that gap. So the little trick is to place that one in vertical. So place it on the table, place that in vertical, but just watch when you're wrapping the wire around this time, because you'll flatten what you've placed in. So we call it the wiggling, you know that way. So wiggle your wire kind of in and out through the foliage, catch it around the end, and then come back in again once more, and just by wiggling the wire in and out between the holly leaves and the spruce, just so you're not flattening it down. So the last piece of wire then, if you make like a U-bend out of it, and you just stick it back up into the moss frame, so it's not going to scratch your door or anything, and there's no raw wire sticking out the back. And that's your frame then, greened up and ready to go.
Jeanette uses 20 gauge wire to attach pine cones, citrus slices of orange and lime, and cinnamon sticks. The final addition is a bow.
This ribbon has a little bit of wire through it, so it holds it in place. And there's your door wreath ready to hang on the door. I'd love to see when you make your wreath, and maybe send it to me through email or post it on our Facebook page.
You can find out all the details of Kay's Flower School courses if you go to flowerschoolireland.com.
And I'd really love one of those wreaths for my front door, but you know what? I think I'd need a lot of practice in order to make one myself.